So, last episode, I found out the secret to immortality, and everybody's gonna live forever now. Also Ice Castle. And boy is... Well, Enix has some interesting ideas about how an ice castle should work. Let's just say that right now. I don't know, maybe you can justify it in the sense that it's like, hey, this is supposed to test, you know, your mettle as a warrior or whatever, and also where the fairies live, and also where it's underground, so it's actually really not much of a castle at all. It's more like an ice bunker. Like, I'm just saying. I didn't see any, like, parapets peeking out of the sand up there. So yeah, those very clearly palette swapped rocks over there, just, I don't know, they move wherever they want to. The slowdown is actually a time distortion field that... Oh, thanks. Slowdown is actually a time distortion field, also meant to test warriors. Shut up. And SNES didn't run very well a lot of the time. Well, obviously you can't use it here. I was kind of hoping to get a... points right or left. I said this in the very early episodes of this, but the dungeon design gets a little bit worse over time and a little bit more unclear, and you'll see that as time goes on. Yeah, I remember what I said 8 months ago when I was recording this series. You don't get far in this business without a good memory. I'm just kidding. But, yeah, so the other major thing here, along with nonsensically moving ice blocks, is... Yeah, that's not going to help too much, because this thing is really, really aggressive in the slipperiness. You can not control yourself well at all, and as you saw when I was jumping around, you also bounce off of walls. Enemies, as you saw that ook there, going up against the wall, are also affected by this, so, you know, it's very much like playing an old school, like, survival horror game. You control terribly, but so do enemies. Which is a fair trade-off, I guess? Not stopping the ooks from hitting me with their gigantic drumming sticks, though. Like, oh... Well, you know, Ice Castle, it makes sense. This is, Enix was clearly going for some pretty classic sort of dungeons. I mean, the first one was the Tower, which is an Enix staple if you've ever played any, like, Dragon Quest game. That's... Oh, come on. Yeah, jumping is not easy here, again, because you just bounce everywhere whenever you hit one of the walls. This isn't just ice, it's like you're... in, I don't know, it's like they put up the gutters when you're going bowling or something. Or, what are those things called when you bounce off the side? I don't know, it's bouncy, okay? There's the stupid metaphor that I was going, look at that! It's like... But yeah, we got the big tower, Enix staple, we got Tech Dungeon, we got, Freezy Frozen Land with all its slippy, slidey ice physics. And then, of course, I mean, I'm sure you probably figured this out already, but Droog Volcano is the next one, so look forward to lava all around the place. Additionally, it has been revealed already what the final dungeon is going to be as well. If you, been paying attention, maybe you know what it is, or maybe I've already uploaded all the parts of the series and you can just see what it is in the name of the video. Either way, it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, it's frustrating. they just had to go with ice, didn't they? And it's... I don't know, I guess it's one of those things where especially like in the SNES era, it's just one of those things you learn. It's like, okay, so here's how ice works. You just... It's as simple as using this, like, I don't know, algorithm that I programmed into 50 different games at this point. Just make it so that instead of stopping a character when you take off your when you take your finger off the button, just make it so that the character slows down. The velocity slowly decays. And now we're going to use this in every video game for all time past this point. Especially games that already kind of control maybe a little bit. But you know, what better way to test the metal than to of a warrior than to just make sure that they can't move properly. I mean, that's always what makes ice such a ridiculously frustrating thing to deal with in the first place. It's the idea that... Nice, a little bit more defense. Oh, also you might have noticed that in the top part of the room that there was... sure, whatever. Really don't need to. I'm getting a lot of money. I mean, I'm at 11,000 right now and I just started the dungeon. And remember, with warp gates, you can go out at any time. It is weird how modern, in some way, they have fast travel in this game. Fast travel. Well, a red steel ball will hit me without mercy anywhere. Like, I don't know why. Also, without mercy, I don't know. It's like I can't imagine that the ball has a very vindictive attitude regardless. Well, then again, these red balls, maybe. Just because, So, another little gimmick of this area. Ramus is a dick. Let's just go with that. Anyway, also, I am still poisoned somehow. Well, anyway, yeah, the real frustrating thing about ice is that it takes away your control. And this game has weird control in the first place. I mean, it's very... obviously, you know, this is the old school era of D-pads and all that. You don't really have fine 8-way movement, per se. You can kind of see where those are supposed to pop up, but much like I was saying back in the first dungeon, it gets harder over time and less questionable. Yeah, I know. I guess you can tell that it's Ramus talking to you when it... when he says ha ha ha. But, yeah, no, that wasn't because I swung my sword. That just kind of did that. And as far as I can tell, the only reason that there would be so much slowdown in this room is that they have every single one of these things active at all times or something? Like, they're all what, 8 sprites? Or 6 sprites, I mean. It just it moves around at random. It would make more sense if these were like, I don't know, giant bugs or something that would move around in a really weird way. Or maybe if they put some sort of tile on the floor that made it look like the floor was slanted in a specific way, and then it might die. I guess I solved the puzzle. I truly am the Lord of Brains. Ah! Yeah, and that... Hey, warp gate. Nice. So apparently Audacity really hates this game. Like, I'm sure most of the audience does. But, yeah, it's crashed twice on me now in 7.5 minutes? Jeez. You know, when I was originally choosing, like, what sort of games I wanted to do after Dead Cells was going to be on hiatus until the 4th major update came out and I had finished the challenge runs, I was thinking either Brainlord here. Why? Because I got Brainlord and whatever, this game's not that long. It's got some stuff going on. And I was choosing, and I was also thinking about doing Yggdra Union, a game that's extremely long and extremely difficult, like to the point that, and it was the GBA version too, no less. So Golkasa pretty much not only killed you in-game, he also reached out of the screen and punched you in the face afterwards. Boy, that game is hardcore. But Brainlord, you know what, it's kind of a fun little thing. And since I got a free, oh, Rain, what are you doing here? Yeah, it's made of ice. Actually, I think that this would probably be one of the easier structures to attack comparatively. Anyway. Yeah, that barely even looks like a key. It looks like kind of a grandfather clock. It's got that sort of boxy nature to it. So, how much you want to bet? I mean, first off, skeletons? I mean, skeletons do as skeletons do. Huh. Poison's not really been that hardcore. Can't even drink the spring water. Or can I? No, you really can't. You'll get poisoned. I don't think it actually kills you or anything. I just think you just get poisoned a little bit. To be honest, I don't remember if I ever tested it out. Why? Because that's kind of stupid. So yeah, you got skeletons, you got Ook, the pigmen, and now you got these guys? Maybe these guys are the Ook? I'm not entirely sure. Oh yeah, that shield, which... I don't know, might work. I don't know. You put it in front of you. Presumably it blocks it. But yeah, you'd think that, I don't know, maybe more skeletons or something? This is supposed to be a place where warriors are tested. Maybe you could fight other warriors or something. Or maybe, like, have a big, huge amount of... I don't know, ice guardians here, too, that you can fight. It's just kind of weird that they're all kind of the same enemies, even though this obviously does have, like, a unique tile set and everything. Yeah, it's not clear, but that's slanted. And also, too many enemies on screen. Oh, yeah, these red pig guys are just extremely tanky. And the Ook already are pretty tanky comparatively, so getting them extra tanky is maybe not the easiest. Maybe what it does is it works as a shield that saves... Obviously, I'm not really doing too much testing out with this game to figure out mechanics, but maybe it's the way that the magic shield works is that you, it takes the place of your regular shield so you don't lose durability on it. I don't know. I think I said I don't know like 7 times now in this episode. Hey, what can I say? It's Brain Lord. You're not supposed to know everything. Yeah, it's the journey that you go on to become Lord Brain. And then you leave Earth for no reason. Okay, that's enough. Hey, a haunch of meat. Meat, I think, is a full heal, so keep it with you. Or don't. I don't really think it matters all that much. Crystals. All about them crystals. So, yeah. Single piece of ice here. You clearly cannot push it. Thankfully, this is not one of the slippery areas, so I don't have to bounce off it 5 times before I can try to push it. But yeah, so this is interesting because it gives the idea here that either that's part of a puzzle, which, you know, would be the obvious solution, but in reality what it is that this is the only place in the game where you get some kind of, like, proper Zelda-like, what would you call it, power-up, but, like, equipment. And, I mean, it should be kind of obvious what it probably is going to be. I mean, something to melt ice. But the idea that they only did this in... Yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't do it in any other area. Oh, no. Final dungeon. Final dungeon that also happens too. It's, not... It's a bit different. Kind of a little interesting, too, because it's... Rather than just being like a hook shot or something, which you use at very specific points in the game, this is something that you also use generally as well. Like, I'll get there when I get there, I suppose. Yeah, using the good old fall down the hole to warp back to the start of the room strategy. Hey! Not ice? Distinct lack of ice-themed stuff aside from the big chunks in this area. I mean, even the walls are very... I don't know, it reminds me of like... Yeah, thanks. Like, this game, man. But, yeah, it reminds me more of like a kelp or something that you would see underwater, or it's something that would indicate that you were underwater or something, but you're clearly underground. You're underneath a desert. Which, by the way, when you think about it, not really used as... I mean, well, first off, that desert was not used pretty much at all. You could get through that area in like 5 seconds if you just walk towards the middle of it. Me going around the circle, the perimeter is there. What? This makes me feel like there was something cut out or something. Oh god, it's so bouncy. I don't know. Well, whatever. Leave Cashin alone. Sure, why not? But yeah, you barely went through the Barren Lands at all, and I don't think that any of those assets were used anywhere else, and this is a pretty lengthy dungeon, all things considered, so it's kind of strange that they... I know they weren't running out of money at this point. That's the next dungeon. But, like, I guess they were really, held down by the whole commitment to doing a prelude area before the dungeon proper. And then, you know, you go back into town in between each one, or, well, whenever you want, due to the way the warp gates work. Enemies programmed to attack you instead just fly directly into the corner of the room. Yeah, if there's one time that knockback is actually extremely useful, it's in this area. There's one time that extremely weird hitboxes are... You and I will have to disagree. Yeah, you don't have too much. You were totally willing to sell it to me. You know, I I definitely could see. Again, it's like this is supposed to be an ice castle, and yet it's not too castle-y at all. Like, maybe there could have been spires or something in the Barren Lands. Maybe they could have actually done much of anything with the tornadoes. Warp you around like a Mario RPG. Mario and Luigi, I think, did that. Or, well, a lot of the Mario games do. I mean, those things have been appearing in Mario games since all the way back in... Wow, it's a good thing I got that meat here. Although I don't need to expend that just yet. Bosses do tend to take off a lot of health, so it's kind of more worth saving that there. Similarly with the Mirrors of Revivification. Oh, there we are. Speaking of which, yeah, that's actually totally worth it, by the way. Not that I really want to go back through that area. Ugh, annoying. But anyway, yeah, it's like you could have like big ice spires coming out of there. You could have like the patches of ice on top of there, or maybe the desert is actually supposed to be very hot, and you could see like sand flowing down into the castle here. You know, something to give it kind of a way, because really these two areas do feel like they are pretty disconnected. I mean, you're obviously told a lot about the Barren Lands and then its relation to the ice castle underneath, but at the same time, man, and now if there's one thing that's more Zelda than anything else, it's being unable to walk into a door because of ice physics. Good stuff, good stuff. Anyway, Zelda was more of a thing with lining yourself up. You didn't bounce all over the place whenever you hit a wall there. Oh, hey, look, it's all the town people. Cool. That is literally every single dungeon in the game. What do you even talk? Whatever. Oh. By the way, I'd like to remind you again that kidnapping is not an actual crime in the Brain Lord universe, because this game is stupid. Which is weird, considering it's called Brain Lord. Anyway, I don't think there's anything else to do in there other than just talk with dudes. This isn't the sort of game that tries to hide stuff that sneakily. Although, again, as you get a bit later into it, that becomes a bit more questionable of a statement, to say the least. Ah, man. Death? Are you implying that I need to die? No, that's the puzzle. Yeah. See if you can figure it out. Well, obviously, it's like, what are you expecting to be sitting in Droog right now? No, that wouldn't really make any sense. But, yeah, so that puzzle actually took me a little while to figure out, even though it literally tells you pretty much what the solution is. Ah, man. You can see the walls reflect on the floor there. It's too bad that this entire area has kind of a theme of green and blue. I would have liked it if they went really hard on the ice. Although having the like mist effect above it does at least make it seem like it's colder than it actually is. Aside from, again, the slipping and sliding that you get from any sort of area like this. So, spikes. Nope! It's kind of nice that at least none of those things drop on top of your head, even though it could have totally done that. Wouldn't put it past Enix, considering at least in this part of the game, they seem to be a little more open to just making things that are total horse hockey happen to you all the time. Yeah! Shield upgrade. No, it's the same shield, but it does have more endurance. It does have more durability there, so that's good at least. I mean, I think the only difference with any of the shields are just the look that they give you, which, again, that's an absurd amount of work for an SNES game. Unique equipment that you can see on your character. I mean, you obviously do get that for basic weapons and stuff like that, but we're talking the shield here, which... and they're not even just like recolored sprites. It's like some of them are actually unique. Same thing with like the keys and stuff like that, which makes me wonder why the design of this game couldn't have been better. Yeah, I mean, again, like the Barren Lands was just nothing. It's nothing. Take all your key knowledge and put that into making the Barren Lands actually an area to go to. Oh god, that button caused so much slowdown. I mean, it just dropped a piece of ice down there, which for some reason requires the most processing power out of anything in the entire game so far. I guess you gotta figure out what random path it's going to take in some way. Oh, you know, now that I actually see the rocks next to each other, that is a unique sprite. I don't know, I got nothing. Clearly not the solution. Yeah, there are a few different, like, it's weird that this sort of area was explained as being someplace that tests your combat abilities as well as your mental abilities, because that's every area in the game. That's all of them. Like, why'd you say that like that was unique? Because it is not. Yeah, no, clearly not the solution again. So much... I mean, it's like, this isn't even a difficult puzzle or anything like that. You just need to kind of understand how to... Like, what is the word I'm trying to think of? Get the... Well, look, man, it reminds me a lot of when people are talking about... I may have actually said this on one of the earlier episodes. I do not remember. Please excuse me. But yeah, it reminds me of how people, I remember, had a lot of trouble with the original... the original Pokemon games, your Red and Blues, with a very similar sort of puzzle right at the end of the game where you had to use strength on 3 rocks to just, you know, push 2 forward and then push 1 to the left or right. A very simple puzzle, but since, you know, you were a tiny baby child at that time, it was a very difficult one. And because I remember, again, I was recording this at like 3 a.m. at the time or something, I feel like I kind of captured that spirit of discovery when it comes to puzzles. I'm very bad at puzzles. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to make excuses for myself. Past me was figuring it out. But hey, I got it. Don't worry about it. It's all cool. Yeah, man, he took his brain out. It's cool. Took his brain lord out. Hey, man, I want to finish all the series on this channel, regardless of how long it takes to do them. So, sometimes you gotta wait a little while for it. And even if this series, it's like nobody cares about it. Just having like E3 happening recently, and what am I playing? This kind of weirdo, obscure RPG from 1994. Well, like semi-RPG, not even full RPG. But yes, only one door is open at a time. Do you get it? Did you get it? Oh, there's a couple areas like that in this dungeon that just had me completely baffled for reasons that I cannot explain right now. But, you know, that's one of those things. It's, one of the things that I always try to do with these series, you know, is to, if I'm not good at the game, I can at least edit it to look like I'm good at the game. That's one of the reasons why I play Dead Cells so much, because it's like, well, that game I can actually get good at and have it work in that way. Everything else, I can at least, you know, edit it. Alright. One more bit of fumbling around on the ice later, and why? Every time. Why, Enix? Why do you do this to me? But yeah, you can see a bit of like a little hub area here, as well as... I think this is a save point, right? Okay, so did Ramus say all of that, or was the first part Ramir here saying that, and then Ramus said it? Oh god, no wait, I remember this room. Oh yeah, there you go. The ice trap, and by ice trap you mean any of the pieces of ice. So, yeah, here you're looking at me be maybe not the most intelligent person. So yeah, there's a difference between clockwise and anti-clockwise for you people in the UK, or counterclockwise for anybody else, and I mean, I even when I was editing this, I'm like, ah, man, I gotta keep this in because this is so stupid, you idiot. It's the easiest thing. Oh, is this the part where I do this? Moron. What are you even doing? See, I was gonna outsmart Ramus there. This is so dumb. Yeah. Of all the puzzles in the game. Oh, it says that every single time you escape the anti-magic field, by the way. And from what I remember, I think that does actually appear a little... Oh my god. Yes, you idiot. What an incredible brain teaser. Truly, my lordship has been earned. Oh god, yeah, this one. It's really just as simple as following instructions, and you're supposed to get around these floating spike balls, Gordos, I guess, if you're a Kirby fan. And then it's pretty simple past that point, but you know, it's literally you just literally follow directions. That's it. And you're done. Hooray! Now wait, is that bottom switch on both sides, and then I hit the switch up here? Thankfully, yes. Rain! I'm surprised you got past that clockwise level, that clockwise puzzle there. It was a real doozy one, wasn't it? Just get out of here. Oh yeah, that's one of those statues that comes to life when you hit it. You remember when my fireball guy hit it in the first episode, and I mean, I knew it was coming, but still, it was annoying. Cool. Again, this is the point where you get to... Oh, that thing came to life. Which I guess that also happens if you open chests? I don't know, whatever. It's not like these things... Okay. Yeah, I guess it's not like these things appear often enough that you're really going to figure out the patterns of how they work anyway. Also, they're extremely slow, so don't worry about that. But yeah, that'll save me a lot of money. This is why you don't really want to grind for everything as soon as you see it in shops, unlike your usual... Oh, it looks really nice. It's supposed to be like fairy wings? It makes sense. Surprisingly few fairies in this place is supposed to be like the home of fairies, especially the fairy queen. Also, what does the fairy queen have nothing to say about this? Why is she sending Ramus to, It seems like Ramus is kind of acting on his own here. Whatever. But yes, you can easily grind for a lot of stuff, and if you were playing a different Enix game, you may have had to do that to be able to get some of the best equipment, but nope, hey, it's just in the chest this time. Also, what was this thing called? Whatever the shield. It looks really nice. It looks like what you would probably call a mirror shield in a Zelda game. Coincidence? Absolutely not. Come on, do you know what game I'm playing here? It's Brainlord. Like, go back and watch the first couple seconds of the very first episode of this series. I know what I was in here for. I mean, also, I played the game before. Like I've also, even before this video series, I played this game before. Yeah, game has absolutely... Oh, thanks for putting up a plaque to tell me that. I wouldn't have figured it out otherwise. It really wasn't secret at all. A TBH fam. Hooray! Unfortunately, I do think that means that I don't have the Mirror of Revivification on anymore. At least it doesn't take up an armor slot, I think. But that's still not the best. Poisoned? Yeah, it's really just that one room. I don't know. Whatever, man. Okay. So yeah. I mean, I never really had any sort of connection to this game. I only played it for the first time a couple years ago. I just decided, hey, I got this on my computer. Like, did you want to see Egg Reunion? It's a good game, and I mean, it would definitely be an original one. See, that was totally okay for them to do because they foreshadowed it with the books. No, wait, no they didn't. This game is stupid. Still, worth it. That's pretty much just extra. I mean, it's pretty much like having a ration in your inventory if you're playing like Metal Gear. Alright. Now time for, well, first off, that was a warp back with the warp gate, and now time for huge amount of running around trying to figure out where exactly to use some of these keys. I mean, there's a number of areas possible. Oh yeah, I like that room because it literally says, like, hey, choose the path of, like, traps or enemies. There are actual names there, but it literally just puts you in the same room. The enemies come and attack you regardless. But yeah, this has the same sort of layout as the previous room, where only one area could open, or whatever it was supposed to be. And essentially, what you gotta do is you gotta just keep going in and out of doors until you get the right doors open, and it takes me a really long time to figure that out. I think it may have actually taken me so long to figure out that I had figured it out and then forgot about it. Man, you can hardly ever see this. Water. And something that I can't quite reach yet. Also, these weird, like, projectile spewing things. They're invincible, and they spew out these really simple-looking projectiles. Like, this is something that you would expect from, I don't know, it looks like that's something from a beta version of the game before they put in the proper sprite that's supposed to represent that or something. I don't know. It's weird, I guess. Anyway, the fact that the anti-magic field kind of cut out there should really cue you in on what you may need to do, although it's not possible just yet. Things that were foreshadowed. This is just an empty hall. Alright. Opens the second gate. Man, remember when the keys would point to specific places in the dungeon so that you would actually know where to go? I miss that. Yo, what up? Oh, thank God. What if somebody steals our ice? Oh man, I bet there's gonna be so much ice in here. Hey, that's what, 3 keys? Hey girl, you know I like to get 3 keys. Hey, wait a second. I already used that in Dead Cells episodes. Yeah, that's right. You gotta watch every single episode if you want me to be original. If you want to get everything. I'm not gonna repeat stuff, except for that one time that I did. Hooray! Yeah, this place is huge. Like, for real. Alright! Attack power, not super great, and yeah, shoots fireballs. Yeah, you see it? You see it shooting fireballs? You see how they just put a fireball sprite on the end of the... Yeah, obviously, I played a video game before, dude. But, yeah, but we'll melt the hardest hearts. But, anyway, yeah, it's just a fireball sprite put at the end of the sword. But hey, I mean, like I said, this is like one of the few times that you actually get an upgrade that allows you to progress in the level. That's like the one thing compared to your Zeldas or whatever that doesn't really... that for some reason didn't translate over into the very similar sort of game that is this. Also, thanks Enix for putting that scorpion right next to the door. Super cool, you guys. So yeah, that was the first gate key that I used. Use the second gate key, obviously. Oh, it better be something good in here. Wait, what? What are these shenanigans here? Also, more scorpions, because, you know, cool job making this level, Enix. Ice key. Oh, well, that's nice to know. I mean, thank God that I've been told that. I couldn't tell from the sprites. Which, again, all unique sprites. Anyway, skipping all the way back the water room over here, because it's a pretty big area otherwise. Yeah, here's where I got the idea that, you know, okay, so magic, and then I fell into the water. Oh, wait, you can actually do stuff down here. Cool. Warrior's helm with a period at the end, because I guess it's supposed to be helmet, but helm is also an actual word. It looks more like one of those things that you used to do like fencing or something. Yeah, so if you're underwater, you're taking constant damage. And very, very quick constant damage. But yeah, you can tell that although that was a new area there, that was not the solution to the puzzle. I did kind of figure out that, hey, you're supposed to use some kind of magic in there. Kind of. But whatever it is, using the regular old magic shot here is clearly not up to snuff insofar as figuring out the puzzle. Alright. Okay. I mean, sure. And that's nice, at least. Well, like, yeah. So the puzzle is that I'm supposed to just use the warp gate? I guess the idea here is that there's your hint that you can't get out of this room unless you have the sword. But that seems like... I don't think that lampshading it is really a good way to, like, hide your badly designed level. Or, you know, giving some sort of explanation there. It's like, it shouldn't have happened in the first place. Anyway, obvious place to go. Obvious place here. Because this is... I mean, that's the most conspicuous piece of ice that you're going to find in the entire area. And hey, Vanessa's in here. Finally. She just looks like a regular sprite. I like that the confusion is represented by just turning back and forth. Never forgive him. Never forgive, never forget. Bellwood, a scientist from the village. And hey! There we go. Unexpected side effect, you say. For example, turning water to ice? I actually don't remember, because it's been a long time. I think so. But yeah, you remember that, what was it called? Phaser, if I'm not mistaken, and Stop were in the Scientific American magazine the most powerful spells, you know, around at this point. Obviously, this isn't quite Phaser, which is too bad, because that one sounds great. Again, it desiccates your entire body, which is cool. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's nothing actually under these ice blocks. Just, it is kind of satisfying to destroy them, even though they have like a 3-frame animation for being destroyed and what sounds like glass breaking, because, you know, that's how ice works. But yeah, Stop is the second of the most powerful, so that's cool. And from what I remember, when you shoot it in an enemy, and I think it has a long cast time or something, it just, well, stops them in place. Also, you just put me in front of that ice. Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess it worked. Also, cool collision. Okay, so... not a whole lot of places left to go. Obviously, I need the third gate key, which is going to be one of the things I need to find, which... good luck figuring out where that is. I need to get through the water room without falling in there and dying. Yeah, black gold helm, whatever. Don't even need that. Junk at this point compared to what I got on right now. 8 versus, what, 10 for the warrior's helm? Whatever. Anyway, back to the extremely ingenious puzzle. that I screwed up. I know I've said this a bunch of times already, but the fact that this game has fast travel, it's just incredible. I love it. I love it because unlike a lot of other scrubs out there who are like, oh, I want to be immersed in the world. I don't care. I want to move quick. I want to complete this game in my lifetime. Elder Scrolls 6 was announced the other day there. I mean, nothing other than that, but Elder Scrolls 6 does in fact exist. So, that's cool. Really, I'm more excited for the mods more than anything else, but I also want to know if they're going to, what they're going to do to change. Anyway, we're playing Brainlord here. Cashian rescued her from ice because, again, these party members are all just kind of dumb. Like, kind of idiot moron men and women who cannot do anything without your help and yet still get the same amount of praise for everything you do regardless. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like even trying to think here. I don't remember much for areas that I haven't been. There was one point where... no, not this point. There was one point I remember in this dungeon, but I don't even think I'm there quite yet, where Or maybe I am? Oh, yeah. Yeah, this was it. This is the floodgate room. It's like in the middle of the dungeon, and it's completely unnotable except for this door here. It is nowhere near that key in any way. What is this design? It's horrible. It took me... I had to... Oh, yeah, here. Hey, there's one button on the keypad that doesn't do anything. It opens that door when you press it. I think it's a X or whatever. But like, yeah, it has absolutely no other purpose in the game. And saying that it's on the pad, that's... it's clever. It's clever, but it's also like, come on. That sort of meta puzzling is a little ridiculous. Yeah, that was the puzzle. This game. I know I said that about all that stuff about the magic and whatever. Yeah, well, that was me partially forgetting and partially trying to fake you out. Oh, man. But yeah, man, that floodgate room. I want to say more than anything else in the entire game that frustrated me so much, because there was no real puzzle there. It's just the room where you use that key is very unnotable otherwise, and the place where you get that key just has you saying, I have no idea where to use this. I don't remember any locked doors. There's so many doors. There's so many parts of this huge dungeon. You don't even want to know how much stuff I had to edit out. Oy. But either way, those are the more mysterious areas. I mean, hell, take this. Take this as an example right now. I didn't remember to point out the floodgate door the first time I went through it, despite the fact that it was an extremely difficult part of the game for me. That's how unnotable it is otherwise. I guess what I'm saying is, fix your game, Enix. Put a patch out for Brainlord, this game that came out in 1994. So anyway, what's in here, which I had to have 3 keys to get into in the first place? Well, as it turns out, it's... Well, first off, these incredibly tough pigmen, which look like they come like pre-roasted, or they just have really bad sunburn. I guess there is a desert up above here. Maybe they were hanging out there. But no, it's just progress. This is just how you get to the next part of the parts. Also, you can see that life fairy has actually been doing me quite a bit of good, because there are pretty long stretches of time where things just don't really happen. So... you get plenty of time to get healing there. Not that healing is ever that much of an issue, because you can buy so many items at all points in time. I mean, they are a bit more expensive here, like grabbing an extra warp gate, for example, was nice and everything. That's not true at all, but it is very powerful. That part is true. But yeah, like grabbing a warp gate earlier was nice, because they are pretty expensive, so... that's cool, at least. Yeah, like little waterfall tiles. I mean, I guess, you know, ice castle, water, sure. Why not? Ah, mine's better. Well, I mean, not that it really matters all that much. You still have that shield, which will block pretty much anything anyway. Ah, well. It's actually almost interesting, because it seems like they almost had it planned that you were supposed to push that piece of ice down here as part of the puzzle. So, since you haven't really seen too much that you need to use the ice or the fire sword for at this point, then getting the... I mean, not that it's actually required for the puzzle or anything, but it's actually pretty obvious what to do here. But it's like, it's as if they tried to do something interesting, but I interpreted it as something more interesting than it actually was. I mean, the other thing, too, is that you can really just, like, push a lot of those rocks down there and everything, too. But I guess it is easiest with the ice there. Like, there's a few different ways you can do this puzzle, I guess is what I'm saying. So, and I don't think you need the piece of ice for that. I don't know. It is, again, very hot in here, and I'm getting tired. Ah, clever puzzle. Slocking. Oh, wait, no. You just go to the other side. Almost got me there, except not really, because come on. Because come on. Yeah, at this point, I was getting so far into the dungeon that I'm like, I better just check to see if these are mimics, because I don't really want to have to do all of this again. I mean, even though you don't, that's not how the game works, I don't know. Don't think too hard about it. Alright, so, all the way back here and set right in front of Spikes. Enix is pulling some I wanna be the guy type of ridiculous traps going on here. Like that one room earlier with the, like, choose the path of fighting or the path of traps, and it just opens you up into a hallway where, well, the enemies just come and attack you regardless, so you might as well choose the one that isn't surrounded by spikes. Man. Yeah, taking away your movement again, and then putting these guys that require way too many hits to kill right there. Oh, come on! Yeah, hope I got that reviving mirror on. I mean, I got plenty of them in this dungeon, so this is kind of an opportune... Oh, I didn't. Right, spiked boots. Remember, I told you, spiked boots, they're... That's the one bad thing that can come out of wearing them. It's not like they give you any extra defense or anything. Am I ever going to spend any amount of time in this dungeon not being poisoned? The answer is no. Despite being, you know, ice and water and all that sort of stuff, but really you spend most of your time getting poisoned. Ah, did you think I forgot that I had that on? Not so fast, game. Too smart for you. I should also probably be using stop now that I'm out of the anti-magic field or whatever, but why use strategy when you have a lot of healing items? That's what I say. But yeah, that gives me 0 defense, so maybe not, like, the best. Very beautiful. Again, important to know, because I can't see it myself. They put in stuff for every one of the shields, but not every one of the... Oh, I got drink! Finally! Oh, I'm so thirsty. Your speed has increased for a while. That's definitely the correct tense that they should have used. But yeah, if you don't want to use your cape and have 0 defense as you're just walking into spikes, which you could not possibly have time to... I told you the design of these dungeons gets worse over time. And, like, quite a bit worse, too. Anyway, yeah, take your time. You know... They could have just made it frozen, or not frozen. I mean, they could have also just made it poison too. I mean, that would be good enough justification. Also, I'm poisoned again. Just ice and poison. Anyway, it's kind of weird that they had that whole, like, they give you a drink there specifically for that, even though. It's really more of an irritation than anything to get through that area because of the movement. More than the enemies are so tanky that they're a problem than anything else. Wow, whatever. Anyway, as you can probably guess, oh yeah, getting there. I do like that they had a completely separate message for that. Too smart for you, game. Truly I am the Brain Lord. Well, alright. I mean, ice, melt any ice, no matter how hard it is, but I guess... Thanks for rewarding lateral thinking, Enix. Oh, hey, Ramus. That was, unexpected. Yeah, that's it. Kind of felt like there would be a little bit more lead up to that. I guess this is a pretty foreboding room. But yeah, if you're wondering when you're actually using stop here, it's not that one room, it's for this boss fight. They are completely invincible if you do not have stop equipped. It's if you ever played Kingdom Hearts, the original, Phantom. The boss Phantom was the same way, where you had to use stop on him to get him to, well, not kill you instantly, not become vulnerable, but still. Anyway, these guys deal a lot of damage, like a ton of damage, so watch out for that. And they do eventually go back to being invincible if you don't hit them for a while, so... God, they do a lot of damage. I don't have... I definitely have like all of my good equipment to equip. I don't actually have like the... And obviously no spike boots. Yeah, I don't have like the cape equipped right now. And obviously no spiked boots because I need those reviving mirrors on me because I'm probably going to die. It's kind of funny because this is the entire boss, by the way. Like, they don't have a phase 2 or anything. It's just 3 of these monsters that you need to stop and then hit a couple times. Otherwise, they just kind of float around the room lazily. Damn it! Otherwise, they just float around the room lazily. It's, not the best design I've ever seen in a game before. I mean, I guess it's a puzzle boss in some way, so that's, makes sense in terms of brain lording, in terms of lording over brains, but, like, why do they do so much damage then? Why don't they just die immediately when I hit them with stop? Why is this a bad boss fight? Ramus, come on. You aren't even here. You just sent these goons out to get me. I wanted to do a cool fight with the Fairy Queen or whatever, which was kind of what you thought it might be leading up to because Ramus is technically supposed to be working for her, but I'll give me my fanfare and let's get out of here. This whole thing is just a filler arc anyway, while I'm waiting to get my silver plaque read. Oh, I was kind of expecting you to be the Fairy Queen. Alright! That's right, there is a second... No, wait, no, it's not. Yeah, that was a lame boss. I'll knock him down. Taosu. It means to defeat, or it means to knock down. So... there you go. Japanese lesson for the day. Paris. What? You did a bad job. What? Wait, you knew about the dragon the entire time? Also, the dragon's name is Fire Drake. Like, what? That is the worst name I've ever heard for anything. You might as well just call them Dragon. Are you, like, for real? Again, I would like to point out that I have been known as a dragon warrior from the very start of the game. So, the fact that I would be the Also, the reason she had so much magical power was because she was a fairy queen. And that was apparently not something that was important to know it. Do you see why I get extremely frustrated with these people that are allegedly supposed to be your party members? Man, I just got done doing Celeste Chapter 6, where I said at the very start. The Evil Bellstorm. Wait a second, wasn't that the name of, like, a scientist or something? Why is he now the boss of the entire... this game. My god. Like, yes, I just got done doing Celeste Chapter 6. And I started out that episode with saying this is maybe the first time in fiction the characters actually just sat down and explained everything to each other so that they weren't doing a bunch of stupid garbage the entire time. But welcome to a game which 4 parts in here, nearly 4 hours, has finally explained that one of your party members knew about the dragon that you were looking for the entire time and didn't tell you, and then had her underling kidnap children because he was mad that she was taking so long on her quest, which could have been solved in the first... man. Also, wait, 10 years? Have you been, like, waiting? Have you been on your quest to find a successor for 10 years? Because Ramir's dad was also a dragon. What is this game? Oh.